The story of the last prophet God sent to earth, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him.
MashaAllah, that is great.
Now listen carefully. Bismillah. Story of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Muhammad, peace be upon him, was born in Makkah, Arabia on 12 Rabi al-Awwal. His mother, Amina, was the daughter of Wahab ibn Abdul Manaf of the Zahra family. His father, Abdullah, was the son of Abdul Muttalib. His ancestors can be traced to the noble house of Ishmael, the son of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. The Prophet's father died before he was born, and his
Jag heter Emily. Jag brukar beskriva mig som...
and his mother took care of him till the age of 6. By the time he turned 6, his mother too passed away. His grandfather, Abdul Muttalib, took tender care of the orphaned child. But the old chief passed away in the next 2 years, and before his death, he put the little one in charge of his uncle, Abu Talib. Prophet Muhammad grew up as an obedient boy. When he was 12 years old, he accompanied his uncle Abu Talib on his journey to Busra. They traveled for many months in the desert. When he introduced Muhammad to the monk, Bahira was very impressed. He then said to Abu Talib, "Return with this boy and guard him against the hatred of Jews. A great career awaits your nephew." Abu Talib didn't quite understand what the monk had meant. His nephew was just a normal child. He thanked Bahira and returned to Makkah. After this journey, nothing special happened in the life of this young prophet for a long time, but all authorities agreed that he had a great wisdom, manners, and morals which was rare among the people of Makkah. He was liked by everyone for his good character and wisdom that he received the title of Al-Amin, which means the faithful. Like every other child, he had to do the chores in his family. His uncle had lost most of his wealth, and the Prophet helped him by taking care of his flocks. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, mostly led a solitary life. He was sad when he saw the sudden outbursts of bloody quarrels among the people of Makkah. The people didn't care about the law. The Prophet's heart grieved when he saw the misery of other people, and such scenes were a daily occurrence in Makkah during that time. When the Prophet was 25 years old, he traveled once again to Syria, and it was here that he met the love of his life, Khadija. Khadija was one of the most beautiful and noble women around, and she was from a very wealthy family. But she was a widow. In spite of being a widow, many wealthy and prominent men in the society asked her hand in marriage, but she rejected them all as she had lost the desire to marry again. It was only until Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam entered her life. Khadija was looking for someone honest who could conduct business for her. It was then that she got introduced to the Prophet. She learned that even though he was an orphan and poor, he came from a noble family. This man was of impeccable moral character and widely known as the most honest man around. The Prophet soon started working for her and set out for his first business trip, followed by a servant. After they came back, she asked her servant about Prophet's conduct. The servant amazed her by his report. "This young man is the kindest I have ever seen," he said. "He never treated me harshly as many others do. And when we were traveling in the desert under the scorching sun, there was always a cloud following us, providing us the shade. Not only that, this new employee proved to be a very good businessman as well. First, He sold the merchandise she gave to him. Then, with the profits, he bought other merchandise and resold them again, thus making double profits. Khadija fell deeply in love with the Prophet. Even though he was 15 years younger, she resolved to marry this man. The next day, she sent his sister to this young man. Why are you not married yet? She asked him. For lack of means, he answered. What if I were to offer you a wife of nobility and beauty? Will you be interested? She asked. Who is it? He replied. When she mentioned her sister, the young man chuckled in amazement. Ha ha ha! How could I marry her? She has turned down the most noble men in the city. They were much wealthier and prominent than this poor shepherd. But the sister replied, don't you worry, I will take care of it. Not long after, the Prophet married Khadija. It was the beginning of one of the most loving, happiest, and sacred marriages in all human history. This marriage gave him the loving heart of a woman who consoled him and kept alive within him a flickering flame of hope when no man believed in him. The Prophet lived a wealthy life for many years after that. When the Prophet reached the age of 35, he settled by his judgment a grave dispute which threatened to plunge Arabia into a fresh series of war. It was the time for rebuilding the Kaaba. Every tribe who had gathered there wanted the honor of raising the black stone, the most holy relic. The leaders and men of each tribe fought among themselves, claimed the honor. Then a senior citizen intervened.
Oh, first day in spring?
How nice is this, Mary? Huh?
Yeah.
We're scored. May 2nd and it's powder, sun. It's so nice, sir. Okay?
Who enters through that gate. The people agreed and waited patiently looking at the gate. The first man to enter the gate was none other than Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the Al-Amin. The different tribes sought his advice, and after they finished, the Prophet ordered, place the stone on a cloth. Each tribe shall have the honor of lifting the stone by holding a part of the cloth. The people happily agreed to this idea. The stone was thus placed, and the rebuilding of the house was completed without further interruption. It was during this time that Usman ibn Huwairith arrived in Makkah. He tried to tempt the people of Makkah by using Byzantine gold and tried to turn the territory dependent on Roman government. But his attempts failed because the Prophet intervened and warned the people of Makkah. The Prophet always helped the poor and needy as well. It is said that when his uncle Abu Talib fell into bad times, the Prophet cleared all his debts using his personal wealth. The Prophet also undertook the education of his uncle's son Ali and brought him up. A year later, he adopted Akil, another one of his uncle's sons.
MashaAllah, that was such an amazing story.
I'm glad you liked it, Amir.
When did the Prophet receive the call of God, Baba?
Ha ha ha. That's the story of tomorrow, my son.
I'm so excited.
All right. Now, are you ready for the questions?
I am.
Tell me, who was the father of Prophet Muhammad? Peace be upon him.
His father was Abdullah, the son of Abdul Muttalib.
Very good, Amir. And what was the name of his mother?
His mother's name was Amina.
When did the Prophet's father and mother die?
The Prophet's father passed away before his birth, and his mother died when he was 6 years old.
MashaAllah, that was great. Now tell me, who took care of the Prophet?
At first, his grandfather took care of him, and later it was his uncle, Abu Talib, who took care of him.
Why did the people of Makkah call the Prophet Al-Amin?
Unlike most of the people in Makkah during that time, The Prophet was of a fair character and very honorable. That's why the people call him Al Amin.
Excellent, Amir. That was great. Inshallah, I will tell you the remaining story tomorrow. Good night, my son.
Good night, Baba.